The previous session explained how configuring a general-purpose application program, such as Ability Systems G-Code Controller, must accommodate the characteristics of movable stages, options for manual controls such as start switches, joystick, feed hold, feed rate override, and programmed automatic functions like S, T, and M codes for such things as spindle, coolant, automatic clamping, and tool changing. Not every machine will need all of these features. G-Code Controller is designed so that each feature can be independently installed, configured, and tested. This session will concentrate on configuring the motorized stages for controlled motion. Selections for stages of motion are presented in the flyout from the stage configuration selection in the system menu. Our demo system only uses stages X, Y, and Z, but the status bar helps you identify the industry standard nomenclature for additional linear and rotational stages. Linear stages, entitled U, V, and W, are situated parallel to X, Y, and Z stages respectively, and rotational stages, entitled capital A, B, and C, rotate around the projections of stages X, Y, and Z respectively. Snapping over the stage that you wish to configure brings up the setup dialog for that stage. For example, snapping over X brings up the configuration settings for the stage referred to in other parts of the application as X. The latter part of Session 8 in this series, entitled Signal Grouping, showed how Indexer LPT refers to symmetrical groups of control signals as axes. The drop-down list entitled Feed Motor Axis allows you to apply one of these groups to the X stage. Here the step and direction signal from Indexer LPT's A-axis group will be applied to the translator powering the motor on the X stage. Corresponding high and low limit switch inputs will monitor end-of-travel switches. Thus, when G-Code Controller is instructed to move the stage entitled X, either by means of the program's control panel or from within a G-Code script, the control signals associated with Indexer LPT's A group will be used. The Active checkbox indicates that the stage is being used on the machine. The check also appears next to the stage on the flyout menu. Only checked stages appear on the position readout and manual controls. As you can see, when I uncheck the Active field of the Z stage, it does not appear on the position readout or the manual controls dialog. The Unit's Name field and the Display Position To field only affect the displays. Notice what happens to this display when I change the unit's name from inches to centimeters. The fields entitled Ratiometric Steps Per Unit and Ratiometric Units, however, affect the behavior of the machine. The ratio of these two numbers determines how many control pulses are generated for each unit of measurement. As shown here, the X stage on our demo machine will move 1 inch for every 5,080 control pulses. The total distance field specifies the extent of motion along the stage. This setting is typically the distance between the high and low end limit switches. As its name implies, the rapid traverse rate setup governs the speed settings in the rapid traverse mode, instated by G00 in the G-Code script. It also governs motion controlled by the manual positioning dialogues and the joystick jog feature when the speed selector switch is set to fast. When the joystick jog speed selector switch is set to slow, the jog instantaneous speed field is in effect. The nudge feature allows you to use the joystick to jog the stage by a fixed distance every half second for very precise positioning. The Limit Seek Configuration button brings up a dialog that allows you to customize automatic limit switch seeking for the stage. Limit switch seeking is generally used to automatically establish the machine home reference position. The stage will move at the instantaneous rate specified in the Seek Rate field until it contacts a limit switch. Then it will retract from the switch the distance you specified in the Retract Distance field, and set the home position there if the Set Home After Retract checkbox is checked. If the Seek Low Switch checkbox is checked, low limit switch seeking occurs in the negative direction. Left unchecked, high limit switch seeking will occur in the positive direction. Our demo machine is set up to seek the high limit switch on the Z stage, since this direction more safely retracts the spindle away from the work. Automatic limit switch seeking moves one stage at a time. When multiple stages are selected, the priority field determines the order of occurrence. The Z stage in our demo machine is prioritized so that it positions the spindle to a safe height before the other stages are moved. The remaining list editing fields provide for sequences of operation that you can use to accommodate things such as squaring parallel stage configurations and homing rotational stages where the limit switch input may need to be disabled after the home position is established. You can customize sequences to occur before the stage is retracted, immediately on contact with the limit switch, and after the stage has retracted to its home position. The diagnostic menu is helpful to verify stage installation and troubleshoot wiring problems. Here the Limit Switches readout dialog shows a live view of the status of the end limit switches. The display changes when I activate each limit switch. It's a good idea to check the limit switches this way before exercising automatic limit switch seeking for the first time on a new machine. The diagnostic menu also has readouts for the manual controls used for cycle start, joystick jog, and feed hold. The next session will discuss configuring these features.